Right. Welcome everyone tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on our weekly Zoom meeting. It looks like we have a lot of people tonight. So awesome, awesome. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know a bunch of us are getting ready for Nashville and it's summer and just lots of stuff going on. I just have to, I think I've posted this like 3 times in our summit page, but just so proud of us. Like we are, there's so many of us going, and it's just so exciting. And I'm so excited to see so many more of the team up on stage, in front of 25,000 people. Don't be nervous. It's gonna be fun. It's all good. Nobody will trip. Nobody will slip. It's gonna be fun, and I just look forward to many, many more of you just joining us year after year. It's super exciting to have many of you guys up on stage this year. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. And I am already packed. Like, that's crazy. I'm usually the night before, like, but we are packed. We have our whole house packed. I can't even believe it. We're like done, ready to go. We're gonna be bored tomorrow. All right. So let's get started. So tonight, I have a bunch of topics that you guys have requested. So we're going to take those over the next few weeks. But what I wanted to talk about tonight, 2 very important topics. And if I can get to the third one, I will. But if not, we'll save it for next week. But one of the biggest things that I want to make sure we go over tonight, and this is something that kind of came up as I was reading everybody's comments on the request for the Zoom calls, but one of the things that came up is, you know, creating value for your customers and all of that. So we're going to kind of talk about that tonight, but let me first take you to the part where, hit mute here for everyone. Okay. So the part where you really have to have a strong why. So, you know, we're going to talk about creating value tonight and all of that good stuff. And what's going to happen is day in and day out as you work this business, you are going to get way more no's than you are yeses. You are going to get way more rejections than you are not. So you have to be prepared for that. And that's why we talk about personal development and the importance of doing it for at least 30 minutes every single day, no matter what. Whether you're having the best month of your life or the shittiest month of your life, you have got to do personal development 30 minutes every single day, no exceptions. Stop fighting it. Stop thinking you're better than it. Stop thinking you don't need it. Stop thinking it's a bunch of malarkey. It's not. You have got to do it. Self-made millionaires read and do personal and professional development at least 30 minutes a day, if not more. People who want to be successful at anything do at least 30 minutes of personal and professional development a day, if not more. So it's non-negotiable. You know, the CEO does it. Donald Trump does it. Oprah Winfrey does. Like, hello, book club. Like, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. So, all right, that's my plug for personal development. But your why, you totally have to have a strong why. So in the beginning for me, this business was, you know, I needed to get healthy and fit after having baby girl number 2. I needed to figure it out. I wasn't about to take an infant and a 4-year-old to the gym, especially in the snow. You know, this couldn't happen, but I needed a way to be able to do it at home. But I was super skeptical of all the home stuff out there. Nothing had ever worked for me before, obviously, because I didn't find Beachbody, right? So immediately, because we didn't have any money, immediately it had to turn into a business opportunity for me. So yes, I wanted to get healthy and fit, but oh, and by the way, you can make money, Nicole. What? Tell me that again, you know, right? So I loved that piece of it. So in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm going to get healthy and fit. The whole family's going to feel better. We're going to take preventative medicine on our own. We're going to be healthy. We're not going to get diabetes like the family has. We're not going to get cancer. We're not going to get, you know, obviously some cancers you just can't help, but we're going to do whatever we can to prevent this. We're not going to have heart attacks. We're going to do it, Mark. Mark and I, we're going to do this. We're going to teach our girls how to eat healthy. Number one, why? For sure. So that we could not, you know, so that we could prevent all the illnesses that run on both sides of our families. Number 2, oh my gosh, so sick of living this way. Paycheck to paycheck, just so done. Less than paycheck to paycheck, like so done. We cannot live this way anymore. I do not want to tell my girls one more time. Well, Ella wasn't talking at 2 months old, but I didn't want, as I was seeing the future, I didn't want to have to tell the girls all the time, no, you can't have that, we can't afford that. No, we can't go to Disney, we can't afford that. No, we can't do this because we can't afford it. Granted, money isn't everything. It makes things a hell of a lot easier, for sure. So, that why for me was just super, super important to not have my girls live the life that I had to live, where we struggled. We always had food, we always have a roof over our head, but there was never extras. There was none of all of that. So I wanted the girls to live a better life, and I wanted a better life. For me, there were lots of things that I wanted to be able to do. Since I was 19 and Mark and I were out on our own, I wanted to be able to pay our bills as they come in the door. It was like a dream of mine. I'm going to pay the bills the second the mailman delivers them. A check is going to leave this house. Like, that was a big goal of mine from the time I was 19. I don't know why. Oh, and the other thing is I want to pay my car insurance as soon as the bill comes in for the entire year, because that $5 a month charge because I don't pay it in full is stupid. So I didn't want to have to pay an extra $60 a year because of, why do I have to pay $5 because I don't pay? Like, what? No. So those are my two big goals after we caught up on our bills. Now, and I do that now. I love it. Very cool to not have a car insurance payment every month. So it's those were my whys 5 years ago. Now, as the team's starting to grow and I'm watching all of these moms be able to quit their jobs and be home with their babies, and dads being able to quit that second job that they got so that their wives didn't have to go out, and having people pay off their student loans that just were drowning them, all of that, just watching the team of thousands of people reach these goals just is amazing. Like I said, the biggest thing I'm excited about this week at Summit is to watch everybody else on this team on stage. Seriously, that for me, like, each year I look forward to something different, but this year, that's it for me. And you don't feel that until you get here and you start. So we get those messages every day, people saying, thank you for, kind of pushing me into that 21-day fix and helping me reach my health and fitness goals. Oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I was taken off of my blood pressure medicine. I don't have cholesterol medicine. All of that comes flooding into your inbox as a coach and is just heartwarming and feels amazing. And as you build a business and a team of coaches, the tiers of messages that come in that, oh my gosh, I'm going to give my 2-week notice because I'm making $1,000 a week and I can't believe it. And it's all because of you. And obviously it's not. We always say, no, it was you. We just shared it, because seriously it was. But we also, we're there to share it, and we were there to mentor the person. We were there to support them and guide them. So you definitely deserve some of the credit. Don't discount yourself as a coach. They did it for sure, but you were there. So, that's my why now. My why every morning when I wake up, I'm always trying to think of what I can say to you guys in the new coach page that will inspire you, educate you, and motivate you. And some days it comes off a little harsh, right? But it's who I am, and I won't apologize for it. But then there's some days, some posts may hit people in different ways, and I truly just want to inspire, educate, and motivate all of you that you can do this. And that's my why now. Like, I am a mom that just wanted to get healthy and fit and not live less than paycheck to paycheck, and be able to give my girls and my family more freedom and less stress, right? So that was my why in the beginning, and now it's to pay it forward. So whatever that goal is for you, it doesn't have to be any of those goals that I just named, but whatever that goal is for you in this business, whether it's just to make an extra $250 a week or to make an extra $250,000 a year, whatever it may be, that's my deep why. So because I have these deep whys, and I have ever since day one, many of you know, for the past 2.5 years, we have been heavy into our big key priority is to get out of this house and get into a new home. We've been in this starter home for 15 years. It's time. We've outgrown it. We don't want to be in this city anymore. Lots of things. And so that drove me for 2.5 years to get up and do it no matter what opposition I was getting, no matter what people were saying, no matter what negativity was coming across my news feed. Oh, you're a fraud, you're a fake, you're not even a real fitness professional, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. And still now, 5 years later, with all the success I had, I still get it. People on my like page are like, you're just trying to scam everybody. Why don't you tell us what you really do? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is that? So you just have to have a deep enough why to push through that. So I'm going to challenge you tonight to really work on that. Make sure, so I'll say to people, tell me what your why is. I want to get healthy and fit and help other people to do the same. Great. But that sounds like a Hallmark card, right? Come on. So do I. That's going to get me up every day. I'm not going to get out of bed because I just want to get healthy and fit and help other people do the same. I don't know. I don't know about you. Like, ultimately, I know that's what you want in a nutshell, for sure. I get it. But you've got to dig deeper into that. You've got to touch into some emotions, and you've got to dream big. Like, what have you always wanted out of life? Like, honestly, for me, think of that. Like, since I was 19, I wanted to pay the bills when they came in the door and pay my car insurance for the year when that first bill comes in. Do you have something like that? Is there something like that? And I want you to remember that whatever your why is or whatever your story is, people all the time, right, say to me, I don't have a story like you. I wasn't bankrupt and now I've made 6 figures. So how do I do this? Hey, but you have a story. Whatever your success has been up until this point is your story. And you just have to get it out there. You've got to get it out there faster. You've got to get it out there deeper. You've got to dig in here. What is your story deep down? And it should bring up some tears. So your story and your why go together. And it should bring up something. I know everybody's life wasn't perfect. People say to me, well, Nicole, I had a great life and I had a great mom and a dad, and they were all together and we were one big happy freaking family. Okay, great. But something happened somewhere along the line where you had some sort of pain from the time you were born till now. Something bad happened somewhere. And it doesn't have to be tragic, but there's some pain somewhere from something that you can tap into, right? Some sort of failure, something that you rose above, whatever that is. Just find it and pull it out. And then your job as leaders is to do the same for your coaches. Help them find it. I'm always prying in my personally sponsored coach page. I'll say, tell me your why, and I'll get to just feel better. And I'm like, come on, give me more, because there's so much more. All right, so make sure those videos were amazing last week that everybody did. Jackie is on here. She gave us her why. She gave us that deep why for her children through the divorce, what she needed to do. Lauren Weber has given us a why in a video. It changed drastically after losing her 19-year-old brother last year in Afghanistan on his first tour, protecting our country. Like, it's different now. She knows that what she has to do now. Things are different. So it's got to be something. It could have happened 25 years ago, whatever it is. It's going to get you up every day. I'm telling you, it's going to get you up every day. Right now we're doing a Sprint to Diamond group, and everybody was working this weekend. And I asked them, do you normally work on the weekends, or are you only working because I've given you this assignment? And they said, I'm only working because you've given me this assignment. I sort of work, but I've never worked like this. This why is going to get you to work on. I'm not talking, Friday night you neglect your family and you work. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking that at least an hour a day on Saturday and an hour a day on Sunday. Usually I work Saturday morning before we start our weekend together, and then Sunday night as we're all settling down. Those are the busiest times for me with work. So that's what's going to get you moving. You're not going to need a Sprint to Diamond with assignments 6 days a week to tell you what to do, because your why is going to get you out of bed. It's going to make you do it no matter what. So that's the big piece I wanted to just cover before we go into the nitty-gritty. So I want you to journal about this. I want you to voice record. I want you, whatever you've got to do, look at yourself in the mirror and tell a story. But pull it out. And don't just, oh, forget it, this didn't work. I don't know how to journal, Nicole. You've told me to do this, but it's stupid. I don't know how to. Please work at it. Please think about it. My first journal entry was, I have no idea how to journal. I've never done this before. I've only written in a diary when I was 10. So should I talk about a kiss? What should I be talking? Like, seriously, that was my journal entry. I just talked and randomly talked. And I just wrote. And then all of a sudden I was like, hey, I have big goals in life. Here's my 5-year plan. And I just went into like this amazing stuff. And Mark, the same thing. He's never journaled before. Craziest story. Mark and I had to write a 5-year plan in our mentorship with Shalene. And we wrote this a year ago. And we couldn't do it together. She was like, do it together and then just send the assignment in. Our 5-year plan was identical. Like freaky identical. It was like, we want to buy a vacation home down the Cape. The girls have friends that they only see on the summer with the like freaky. So make sure you share this 5-year plan or your goals or your dreams with your partner. You know, and at first they might be like, well, that'd be great, you know, or I know some other people, when they saw Mark get a car and, you know, the truck, they're like, oh my gosh, look at what Mark was able to purchase. And husband's like, when are you buying me a truck? You know, so whatever, get them in on those goals. If that's gonna, you know, I'm like, Mark, I think you're gonna take people for a ride in your trucks, so it's more of a, you can see it now. He's like, okay, cool, you know. But just having that big vision and sharing it with your partner and making sure this why is deep. Okay, like scary that you don't even want to share it publicly. That's how deep it should be. Okay, and make sure you're listening to people who pull that stuff out of you are people like Bo Eason, E.T. the hip hop preacher. They have good exercises. Shalene podcasts, listen to them. They have really good stuff on how to pull this stuff out of you and how to journal. Amy Yannick has given us right on our YouTube channel, where all of these meetings will be put on. She has given us an order form to the universe video and how to go after what we want and how to do a journal entry on that. So there's so many tools out there for you. All right, so let's talk about creating value for your customers. So this is one of the biggest obstacles that you will face every single day. I face it every single day. And it's, you know, oh my gosh, I'm super interested in your health and fitness group. What do I have to do? You know, and you're like, what do you say, right? You have to purchase a challenge pack, and it's like this Shakeology, and you know, right? So the first thing you have to do when someone asks you, what do I do? How do I get into your challenge group? What do I do? You say, well, I'll tell you, but first let's talk about your goals. Like what made you say yes to this? What made you post I'm interested under the whatever that call to action you've given people, whether it's in a private message or publicly. But you always want to end with a question. You want to make them do something and make them take the next step. So if you've done a private invite and you say, would you like to hear more? And they come back and say yes, you freeze sometimes. Oh my gosh, now what do I say? You just basically want to say, awesome, I'm so excited to share this with you. Can you tell me, you know, what 2 to 3 things you struggle with your health and fitness goals? Or can you tell me why you messaged me? What made you say yes? Like why? Tell me why. However you can get their why out of them, but without saying, tell me your why. No, just give them some prompting. You know, can you tell me what 2 to 3 things you struggle with your health and fitness? Can you tell me what 2 to 3 things you'd like to improve upon regarding your health and fitness? Would you say that nutrition is harder for you, or finding the time to work out? So talk them through, they're going to give you their why, but you're also going to kind of talk them through their excuses that you're kind of pulling up front from them. Okay? a lot of people will come at you and say, how much? Well, how much? If it costs money, forget it. I'm out. So you have to you have to pause with those people and say, well, it's going to depend. I mean, this could literally cost you $10 or $20, or it could cost you, over $100. So we have to talk before I talk to you about price. And the $20 could be like hip hop abs or something for $20, right? So, just give them that range. Just say, well, this could cost you anywhere from $20 to over $100, but I need to ask you some few questions first. And those are the questions. So I gave you 3 options. What 2 to 3 things would you like to improve upon regarding your health and fitness? What 2 to 3 things do you think you struggle with the most? Is it nutrition? Is it finding the time to work out? And can you tell me why you clicked like on that post? Or what about one of the things I say to every single person? I have a like page boosted post that has been running since February 17th, and I sign up 2 to 4 coaches every month from it. It's the same post. Sometimes I just throw out a different picture. But the first thing I say to them is, when they come back and they say, hey, I'm interested, tell me more. First thing I say to them, awesome, I can't wait to chat with you. What appealed to you most about the post? So something in your post maybe. When you're inviting, you're going to share a little piece of your story. You're going to say, hey, so I just started this health and fitness journey. I'm using the 21-Day Fix, which is an amazing nutrition program, and I'm drinking this awesome superfood shake. I would like to tell you, I run online health and fitness groups that I can pay it forward to other people. Would you like to hear more? So something in that post that you make, whether it's a post or an invite, is going to appeal to someone for them to say yes. And it's going to be a piece of your story. So you could simply say, what appealed to you most about my invite? What appealed to you most about the post? Something like that. So this is all I ever mean when I say create value for your customers. This is all I ever mean, is you having a natural conversation with them, getting their why, getting their struggles. They have a need that you need to fill, and they don't know it yet. And it's up to you to pull it out of them. They know that they're sick of feeling awful. They know that they hate being sick every winter. They know that they're so sick and tired of having indents on their jeans when they take their jeans off. They know that, they don't like that their underwear rolls down every night. I'm just kind of thinking of things that has happened to me. Whatever those things are, it's happening to them and they're sick of it, but they don't know how to fix it, or they don't have the desire to fix it, or they've tried everything and they're fed up and they're at their wit's end. So the other thing that we talked about on last week's Zoom, I think, is when they come back with you with objections. So you're having this conversation, you think it's going good, you're like, oh, okay, they've given me a lot of info, this is good. And then you say, hey, I have a video that I want you to watch, and you send them the 21-Day Fix video, and you send them the Shakeology video, what can Shakeology do for you? They come back and they're like, wow, those videos were awesome. So how much is this? And this is when you can say how much it is. So you say, oh my gosh, right now it's on sale for $140. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the full 21-Day Fix fitness and nutrition guide. It's kind of like having a personal trainer and a nutritionist right in your home every day. You're going to get 30 meals, a 30-day supply of Shakeology. It's crazy. You're not going to need your vitamins anymore. You're going to have energy. It's going to be just so amazing for you. You're going to get me as your personal coach and a group of 20 or so other people that are going through the same journey as you, that you can ask recipes for, tips, ideas, all for just $140. I mean, seriously, you can't. All of that would be over $1,000. Like, this value is crazy. So what do you think? Are you ready to sign up? Are we ready to get you signed up? Something like that, whatever your closing question is. But make sure you ask. Don't just say, so what do you think? So you want to say something like, doesn't that sound amazing? Are you ready? Let's do this. You want to kind of just assume that they're going to sign up. In your head, they're signing up. A lot of what happens with people is they say, okay, so how much? We all go, oh shit, here it comes. I gotta tell them. Oh no, they're so gonna tell me this is so expensive. You know, believe that $140 is nothing. Even though for you it might have been very hard to come up with that. I get that. Trust me. You all know my story. But you have to believe, like, truly, that, oh my God, for $140, you're going to get 30 meals. You're going to get like a personal trainer on your TV every day to tell you what to do and how to do it. You're going to get an entire nutrition guide with recipes and meal plans to tell you how much to eat, when to eat. It's amazing. It's all package deal for you right here. And you get me as your coach for $140. Like, seriously? Like, you have to believe all that. You have to feel that. You can't go in with, oh, here we go. I have to tell them how much. Like, don't have any of the, be confident. Like, seriously, $140 is really not a lot of money for all that. It's not. So be confident in that. And as you're telling them all of that, and then you say, are we ready to get started? And they say, oh, yeah, no, I can't afford that. Then you have to go back with the objections. And you have to, the first thing I say, and everybody said, now honestly, for everyone on this call, maybe 1% of you said, okay, cool, yeah, 140, let's do this. All of you gave your coach an objection. I would say 99% of you, right? Shake your head if that, did you give your coach a money objection? Right? So you want to say, when they come back and they say, that sounds awesome, like, really? But I don't have $140 or whatever their price objection is, because the number one objection is going to be price. So you can seriously talk yourself out of anything else. Like, if they say, I don't have time, be like, seriously? Well, don't say that. But, you know, if they don't have time, that's an easier excuse. We'll talk about it in a second. But if they say, yeah, that sounds amazing, but I don't have that, or that's too expensive for me, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way too. What I found was, by canceling my YMCA membership, I was saving $40 a month. By not having to buy myself any items for lunch anymore to make myself at home, I was saving money by having Shakeology instead. And because I had energy with Shakeology, I didn't have to run to Dunkin' Donuts or Honeydew or Starbucks for an afternoon iced coffee pick-me-up at 3 o'clock. So I actually saved money by purchasing this $140 challenge pack, and it's amazing. So something like that. I feel, felt, found is what it's called. I know exactly how you feel. I felt that same way too. I found that. And give your story. You don't have to give my story. So give your story. You found that, what, you know, whatever that story was. So make sure you're giving that story. And that's going to make them think, you know, and then you want to end it with, so now how does that, so what do you think? For 30-day money-back guarantee, do you want to just try it and see what happens? Chances are they're going to say yes. And you've created such value for them by talking with them. Whether I highly recommend you do a lot of this on the phone if you can, or on voice message on Facebook, so they can hear your passion. Like, if you're writing, oh my gosh, you're gonna get this and this and this, they're not gonna hear this excitement and this change in your voice, right? So if you can get on the phone or in person at a coffee shop, or the Facebook Messenger, the voice message, that's going to just be really good. But if you have to do it via via writing, use lots of happy faces and exclamation points. Maybe they'll hear it that way. But honestly, I hardly ever sign people up through messaging. A lot of times I say, after they've watched the videos, I say, hey, can we just hop on a quick call? It'll take 10 minutes. And they hear the price and they hear me break it down a lot better. And then they're like, oh, actually isn't bad. So now, is this going to work for everyone? And everyone's going to go, yeah, okay, sign me up. Oh, it's still not going to work, okay? And it still may take people a couple weeks. And if they say, you know what, it actually does sound really good, let me just kind of come up with the money. You know, say, okay, when would that be? Like, when are you thinking? I don't want to keep bothering you, you know, every day. So when are you thinking that I could follow up and see when, you know, so get that next meeting set up. When can I follow up and get you signed up. They might say payday. Great, when's payday? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Don't end the conversation with, okay, cool, let me know. Don't say that, because they're never going to let you know. They're not. Oh, they're going to go and they're going to talk to somebody in their house and they're going to be like, I was just on the phone and they told me that this and this, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's a scam. Oh yeah, you're probably right. And then they're done, right? So don't let them go talk to anybody else, because they're going to get talked out of it. So that's your number one price objection, and that's what I say, and sometimes they'll go, oh, that's expensive. I'm like, well, not really. Let's look at it this way. And I break it down. So whatever you have to do to just share the value. And you've already created that value because you took the time to get their why, talk to them. One of the things that I know Shay Stanford and then Lisa Hanson, they both say they never, hardly ever, like 95% of the time, do not get price objections, because they have done such a great job creating the value of Shakeology that it's the best thing on the market. So I highly recommend you go back and listen to our Team Passion podcast that Lisa Hanson did. She did a call about, she's a holistic practitioner, and she talks about, she recommends this to all her clients, and nobody thinks twice, even regular people, but nobody thinks twice when she says $130 a bag. They're like, okay, because she creates such a value of what they're getting. And then Shay Stanford has done multiple national wake-up calls that you can find. Her name is spelled S-E-A, Stanford. She has blogs out there that talk about the value of Shakeology. She was a pharmaceutical rep, doing amazing in life, making big buckos, but realizing that, she was contributing to selling the meds that we, don't want to have to solve our problems with, right? So make sure you have a tagline of Shakeology. Like I'd say, it's an amazing superfood loaded shake that has over 70 ingredients, including probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes. And if you had to put all of these superfoods together that doctors recommend you have every day, it would cost over $1,000 or something like that. So that's like my little, I always bring up the doctors or Dr. Oz, or, I'm like, they, because seriously, a superfood is highlighted on those shows like every day. So we get it all in Shakeology. So I'm always talking about the value of that and what it can do for them. And do they have digestive issue? Just get whatever you can out of them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. People will tell you. People want you to ask them questions because they want to talk about themselves. So they won't have a problem doing that. If some people are super adamant and just say, will you just tell me how much it is and stop beating around the bush, I say, here's my website. It's not how I work. I don't want to work with people who don't take the time to tell me their why. I just don't. That's happening a lot of times on my like page. They're like, well, you said you could send me some info. Just send it to me. I'm like, okay, here you go. But chances are you're not going to join my team because I don't want you. I don't say that, but that's my attitude in it, because I want people who are going to take the time and do that. So I don't have enough time objection. I mean, I'm sure you all have a story of, yeah, I know how you feel. I felt the same way too. I just go to bed a half hour earlier and get up go to bed a half hour earlier and get up a half hour earlier, and I get my workout in before the rest of the house. I mean, 30 minutes, the time objection used to be harder when I was trying to sell P90X, and it was an hour and 10 minutes a day 5 years ago. I still did the feel felt found because I had an infant and a 4-year-old, and they didn't sleep through the night, and I still got up at 6 o'clock every morning and did my workout. But that's easy now. I mean, 30 minutes. And the people who literally say I don't have time to make a shake, come on. I don't even give that a try to convince them into anything. I'm like, it takes 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure you can find the time. But I say it nicely. So, any questions? Did that help? Feel free to unmute yourself. I think a lot of the times we think there's more to creating this value for our customers than there really is. It's just asking them questions and letting them talk about themselves.
I have a question, Nicole.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm currently in your group right now, the Sprint to Diamond.
Okay.
And I asked this question earlier because I'm in 2 boot camps. When we send out invitations to people, whether it's challenge groups, but in this case, business invites, and somebody says that, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want to talk about it. Yes, I want the information. They listen to the call and what have you. And then you check in with them afterwards, 24 to 48 hours later, whatever it is. And they don't reply with like back to you or a day or two later, how many times do you check in with them before you say, okay, obviously I'm getting ignored, let's just leave it at that and put them on the list for later? How many times do you check in with them?
I am a rule of 5 girl. I always have been. And I make it very light. So if this person was like, so it all depends on who it is too. So if this person said, absolutely send me the call, and then they've come back and they're like, oh my God, that call was awesome. And, they're excited and they seem interested. If someone tells me first, so here's one group of people. If someone tells me that they are signing up, they hear from me every day until they are in that computer. I'm not lying, guys. Every day. Like if they said, yeah, I'm totally in, and yes, 140, let's do it. What do I need to do? And I send them the instructions, or we try to set up a call or something. They hear from me every day until they are in the computer. And I say things like, so if someone says to me, yeah, I'm totally interested, and I send them the info to sign up, and then they say, I'm going to do it tonight, and then the next day I wake up and they're not in there, this is the first message. Oh my God, I don't see you. I think you got assigned to a different coach. Can you tell me what happened? Did you have an issue signing up last night? And they're like, oh yeah, no, sorry, I totally just forgot. And I'm like, oh my God, phew, I was so nervous. So the conversation goes funny and light. I like go into panic mode. And then they say, I'm gonna do it at lunch. I say, great, message me as soon as you're done. Dinner time rolls around, 8:00, they haven't done it yet. I'm like, hey, do you need help? Do you want me to do it for you? Okay, again, whatever that is, they hear from me every day. And then say they ignore me for like 5 days in a row. And my 5th message is something like, hey, so, apparently you're not ready, and I'm totally okay with that. Just let me know whenever you're ready. I just don't want to keep bothering you because now I seem kind of stalkerish and kind of like a pest, and that's not what I'm about. I don't want to push anyone into my business. I just thought you were excited and interested, and but totally, whenever you're ready. Usually, they come right back and sign up because I'm like pushed back. I'm like, yeah, so we're good. It's almost like, I don't need you. It's like that. And they come right in. They're like, okay, I'm going to do it right now, actually. I'm so sorry. They do it.
Okay.
So that's one group of people. Now, if someone said, yes, I want to listen to the call, and they listen to it, and then I don't hear from them, about 5 times every 2 days, 2 to 3 days, I'll say, hey, did you have time? Did you get a sec to listen to that? I know you were going to listen to it at such and such a time, and see what happens and kind of let the conversation go that way. But I've never in 5 years had people who listened to a call or said they wanted the third-party tool, all of that, and then by 5 times they didn't say something to me.
Okay.
So, at
the end of still waiting. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's 5 days. 5 times. So it'll probably take about 10 days to get through it all. And just make, sure you're like, I know you're super busy. I know, make sure you look on their timeline on Facebook. Did something happen? Make sure you're not just following up with people and then not really knowing what's going on in their life because something tragic could have happened. Make sure, or even suggest, or reference something. If something happened on their Facebook page with one of their kids or something, or just like, hey, I know you just had a couple crazy days. I saw that Joey fell off the swing set or something. Is he okay? And then don't even bring up, did you listen? And by the way, did you listen to the call? Like, just check on Joey. Now, so make sure that's the other thing you're doing. When you're following up with people, know what's going on in their life and just drop a quick, like, hey, I just saw you had a restless night's sleep with those kids. Oh, I remember those days. You feeling better today? Something. So make sure you're you're just checking in with people to check in with them too. It doesn't always have to be, because then usually they're going to say, oh yeah, it's always okay. Thanks so much for checking in. And I meant to message you back, by the way, so
Okay.
yeah, just make sure you're really being genuine. Make sure you know what's going on in people's lives. And if it's someone that you want really bad on your team because you know they would be amazing, you can go over 5 times. I give you permission. If it's someone you really want, check back 2 weeks later and just be like, hey, remember how we talked a few weeks ago? I still really think you'd be amazing at this. Is this, can we talk? Can we get some coffee? There's one guy that I went to high school with, and every month I'm like, Matt, hello. And he's like, I know. So, but I just, and sometimes I'll just go to his page and just see what he's doing. I'll just reference something in a message. It even happened last week, and he's like, hey, we're gonna have coffee so we can talk about it. And I'm like, okay. So
Okay.
make sure you're,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nicole, I have a question.
Yeah.
So
you bring up crickets, Lori.
no crickets.
We've had the cricket talk.
Once you've already talked to them and they said yes and all is good, so do you send them a link, or do you just tell them to go to your webpage and go ahead and sign up on their own?
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the Beachbody app, but I know a ton of you guys are, so please use it. But I just get nervous. I don't know. So I just stick old school. And yeah, I send them, I ask them, Lori, I'll say, do you want me to send you sign-up instructions, or do you want to set up a call and we'll go over it over the phone? And if it's someone I know, I'll say, or I can just do it for you. And they'll text me their info. So it just kind of depends on who it is and what they say. So I'll ask them, and if they say, yeah, no, just send me instructions, then yep, I send them my website and I say, click coach, be a coach, or here's what I say, page 1, fill out all of the info, click continue, page 2, choose your challenge pack, make sure you choose your flavor, click upgrade order. The final page is going to be your billing page, and voila, it'll say, congratulations, you're a coach. So it's pretty quick. I just tell them what to expect on each page.
And so you always tell them just to sign up as a coach?
Yes. What is your question there?
No, so do you ever talk about the option of, so what if when you're talking to them and they're like, no, I don't want to sell anything. Do you just say, that's fine, you just become a discount coach, you'll get the discount same as I do?
Yeah. So in the beginning, yes. Everybody for me, because it was all people in my warm circle. So I was like, we are having that conference. Yes, I'm ready to go. And I'll say, okay, great. Here's how I suggest everybody sign up. I suggest everyone sign up as a discount coach. It's kind of like having a BJ's membership. You're going to pay a monthly fee to get the shakes 25% off. Still with the fee, it's cheaper. Here's how it works. And then I do it that way. Currently, with my like page people, so I only invite to the business. So my like page is, I give health and fitness tips, but it's like my boosted posts are, I'm signing up coaches. There's no other option. They're coming in to work the business. But if people, like the other night, I had 2 people message me. I want to get in your next challenge group. How do I buy what do I need to do? One of them is a brand new mom, just had her baby 2 months ago. So I say, we're not super close. So I just basically said, I told her how to sign up for a challenge pack with a customer. I didn't give her a discount coach option. So it's and another person too, that I don't know, that just sent me a message and said, hey, I saw your post. I'd love to hear more about that. And we talked. Because I think strangers or people that I don't know, I have a hard time like talking about the discount coach thing. Like it's thrown a lot of people off when I don't know them. So I have them come in as a customer, and then 2 weeks in, we talk about switching them over as a coach. So they come in as a challenge pack as a customer. These are complete strangers. My warm market go in as coaches, unless they outright refuse. Like Holly Selden did for a few years. She was one of my Beachbody customers that we got really close, but I'm like, come on, just sign as a discount coach. And I asked her for 2 years. But Now she's in as a working coach and almost diamond, so we're good. So yeah, the strangers I just have come in as customers, and then 2 to 3 weeks in, I say, hey, so you're loving your shakes, you want to keep getting it every month? Let's talk about how to get it cheaper, and we transfer them over.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one more question, Nicole.
Yeah.
Hey, when we do business invites versus discount coach or challenge groups or anything like that, is it best to do private invites or public invites on Facebook? And if you do it publicly on Facebook like we did, how often should we do it publicly like that?
So the purpose of your
that makes sense.
Yes. So the purpose of your public posts are so people know what you're doing. I never expect an outcome from a public post. I never expect someone to click like or say I'm interested, unless I'm running an ad on Facebook on my like page. But on my personal page, if I'm just like, hey, I have a challenge group starting on 7/13, message me for more info. I don't ever expect to get an inbox message. Sometimes I do, and it's a surprise, but what I'll do is I'll start interacting with people more that I know are on my list. So I'll comment on their Facebook stuff or just kind of check things out. And then I will send them a private invite. Say, hey, not sure if you just saw my last post. I'm starting a new group. I know we talked before. Is now a good time to talk again about that? So private invites are always, always, always going to yield better results. People are afraid. They're not going to message you. They're not going to click like. So us as coaches are afraid what other people think. Imagine what your Facebook friends, they start commenting on your stuff, and they're going to think, oh my gosh, what if my friend who does Herbalife sees that? Or what if my friend who does Thrive sees that? So you want to make sure that you're always private messaging people, whether it's for the business or whether it's for the challenge group. The only time I get people to comment on my stuff, like I said, is my like page when I'm specifically looking for people to do something with the call to action.
Okay, thank you.
And I would do a public invite or challenge group post just once a week. So there's a really good book out there by Gary Vaynerchuk called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And he talks a lot about, I couldn't get through the whole book, but I got the gist of it. Yes, there it is, Lori. Have you gotten through the whole book? No, it's hard. It's a long one. But he talks a ton about, he has another book called Crush It. That's awesome. That's easier and quicker. But he talks about, offer free content, which are your jabs. Hey, I'm feeling great on my Shakeology. That's a jab. Oh my gosh, give me Flex Friday. That's a jab. Whatever you're jabbing. And then your right hook is, want to join me? Jab, 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 jab. Your right hook is want to join me. And so you only want to offer that like once a week. Like if one of the things that make me cringe is when I see new coaches post and it's almost every other day. Join me, click here, and I'm like, stop selling like that. You don't want to do that. This business is all about building relationships, and you're going to have just natural conversations with people in a private message about life that turn into invites that are going to be your best invites because they're non-confrontational, non-invite-ish. They're just kind of like happening. So just make sure you're very natural about things.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And just make sure, I know it's 9:52, guys. Whoa, you guys are sticking with me. But also just make sure that you're not expecting anything from anybody, right? So our job as coaches are to educate, inspire, and motivate, but not convince or argue. So one of the biggest things I think people do is they invite, expecting a Success Club point. Stop thinking that way. Just invite to educate, inspire, and motivate. Even if you just invite and you hear crickets, nobody responds to you, that person might just go check out your page and see what you're doing. So they may just be watching, and they may just want to be, and then they're going to wait for that invite a couple months later.
Nicole,
Yes?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why am I the only dude on this call?
Good question, Aaron. Good question.
I'm just curious. Here's the thing. It's wild because this opportunity is mind-blowing. So more men need to know about it. But here's my thing. My takeaways from tonight, definitely the feel, felt, found. That's a game changer because so many times we get caught up in that slippery slope of conversation and it turns into muck. And you're like, okay, where's my gas pedal? I feel like we're on the brake and I need to get moving again. And that feel, felt, found for me has helped me kind of move past somebody who's really got a sticking point.
Mm-hmm.
So that was money. I appreciate that. And the other thing too, now I got it. Now we have a team. Like at first this was all challenge pack, form, invite, talk to somebody at a gas pump, talk to somebody at a restaurant, like Facebook, phone. Now what's so exciting about this is half our team's on this call tonight. So we went from just trying to just be me out there in the wilderness on my own to now you got a team. So I feel like every day, yeah, it's another action to be with your team and teach them everything you've learned and get their feedback. That word feedback was the other thing I wanted to mention. It goes with the feel, felt, found. I've been learning now, even in my form process, that asking people for feedback has helped me kind of get back on the gas pedal in those sticky conversations. Because it might be negative feedback, but at least it's something and it keeps the conversation moving and it gives you an opportunity to, again, educate them and maybe overcome an objection. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's just, that's awesome. Thank you.
Good stuff. Joe says he's here with you.
Nice. Not alone.
You just can't see him. He's just a silhouette. I think he's just a phone.
Okay.
Awesome. Good stuff. Anybody else? All right, so we didn't have time for time management. Oh, I made up funny. Okay, sorry. But we will get to that next week for sure. I wanted to make sure that we really covered this create the value because I think this is where people get lost. I think you're sending an invite and then you're like jump into the sale like it's way too early, so you want to make sure that you're really taking your time with people and like dating, take your time, make sure that you're getting to know them and having them trust you, because then even if they don't say no, even if they don't say yes now, they're going to come back to you because of the way you handled the whole situation and the whole conversation. They're going to come back when they're ready and they're going to remember how you treated them instead of just looking at them as a number, right? That's not what we want to do. Cool? All right. Well, thank you guys. I truly hope this was super helpful. We will, Mark will get this recording up hopefully before we leave for Nashville. But yeah, all right. Thanks. Have a good night.